Ladies and gentlemen, babies and elephant, welcome to this guide for ZombieMancer for 3.9 Metamorph League. I'm Boss Lee here, so I just would like to introduce this build guide for you guys. So basically this build guide is actually destroys all endgame content. You have approximately about 12k energy shield right over here, and basically you can pretty much destroy all the bosses without any problems, as well as you have a ton of HP, a ton of energy shield, sorry. So if you're looking for that kind of end game content or an end game build, then you came to the right place, okay? So now let's go into the build, shall we? So this build, actually there is a budgeted version for it as well. I'll go through that later today. Let's begin with the build. So let's see. So basically this build is built around chaos inoculation. Basically it gives you immunity to chaos damage, right? Not only that, you have a ton of energy shield over here, and then you deal a shit ton of DPS just on the bosses itself. So it's built mainly, it's relying on strength, okay? Now I just go through a bit of the gears that I have right now. So I'm currently using this Corona Maul, which gives 130% increased damage to my minions, gives additional socketed gems level, plus another 2 levels to the socketed support gems. Minions have 25% increased attack speed and cast speed. Now this one, what does it do? It basically gives a lot of DPS to all your zombies. So basically all the damage is coming from the zombies, okay? Now this the amount of zombies I can have currently now, I can have up to 18 zombies, which gives me a shit ton of DPS. Secondly, the helmet I have here is the Baron. Now what the Baron can do, the Baron gives extra 2 levels to socketed minion gems. So all your minion gems has additional 2 levels on it. Gives you strength, which is what we need because we build mainly from strength. And also minions have additional 20% increased maximum life. Half of your strength will be added to your minions. So basically all your zombies will be getting half of your strength. Now if you like, for what I have here, I have about 2424 strength. So basically half of it, about 1200 strength, goes to my zombies. So more strength you have, the more strength goes to your zombies, the higher DPS they will have, right? And it gives you additional extra zombie every 300 strength. So for 2400 strength, I have 8 additional zombies on top of whatever that I have from my gem level, okay? And if you have at least 1000 strength, 2% damage dealt by your zombies will be leached to you as life. Now, so this is the Baron. So Baron is actually quite crucial for the build. There's actually a few gears that are very important in this build that you can absolutely need them. So mainly is the Baron and Geoffrey's Sanctuary, Shaper's Touch. These 3 are the main parts of the build. Without these 3, you can't fully utilize the build. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's quite hard because you need a lot of the energy shield and strength and bonuses and levels from the bosses from the equipment, just to give your minions much more higher level on their gems, right? So secondly, we need to look at this Geoffrey's Sanctuary. Now this is one of the most crucial armor that you need. Basically it gives up to 75% energy shield. We're not really worried about the maximum life, so what you want to worry about is the maximum energy shield and the increased energy shield. So this one gives you a shit ton of energy shield based on every 2 energy shield, flat energy shield for every 5 strength you have. So if you have 2400 strength divided by 5, that gives you a lot of energy shield, and also it gives you elemental resistances, which is sweet, okay? Now this is one of the most important armors that you need. Next we go to the Shaper's Touch. Now the Shaper's Touch, basically it gives you additional energy shield as well. It gives you extra mana for every 4 strength that you have. It gives you additional 2 mana. Gives you additional 2% energy shield for every 10 strength. Now that's From 2400 strength there, I'm getting additional at least about 480% increase of energy shield, which also boosts our energy shield. Evasion rating and melee physical damage, we are not so worried about it because we are not the one dealing the damage. It's our zombies and our minions doing the damage. So yeah, this is one of the important parts as well. And everything else is actually trying to everything else is here is actually trying to complement the build and actually give you more strength and all the other stats you need. The belt mainly, I'm going for mostly flat strength, as much flat strength I can get. Increased attributes is also optional. It's up to you. This for this kind of heavy build is actually quite pricey. It's not cheap. I think it's gonna go for at least 2 to 3 exalts on average. But you can get a cheaper one, which gives you an average about 40 strength without the increased attributes, but maybe you can get more elemental resistances from that itself, which costs you less than 10 chaos. So it's up to you if you want to min-max. So this is like the end game, almost trying to min-max version of my zombie build. And the other one, this one is the Alberon's Warpath. This one is mainly because of the 18% increased strength as well. So you want the increased strength from this. Numbers of skeletons, because a lot of people play skeletons on their build. Since I already have 18 zombies, for me personally, I don't find the need to actually have or want to have the summon skeletons, because you see, this is the point, right? When you have 18 zombies surrounding the boss or whatever that you're trying to kill, you can only fit so much of them killing the boss, right? Some of the zombies will actually be standing behind, waiting in line just to hit the boss. So if you add on skeletons in, your zombies might not even get the chance to actually hit the boss. You know what I mean? So now that's the reason why I don't use it. I don't say that you can't, but that's why I don't use it. So I very much prefer just to rely on my zombies, because I give all my strengths to them and I expect them to do their job, right? So this one gives you 80% increased strength. Also, it gives you 20% move speed, a little bit of chaos resistance, but we are not worried about the chaos resistance because we are fully immune to chaos damage. Yeah, so this is one of the options. If you don't want to go for this one, you can totally go for something else. You can go for any rare boots that gives you flat strength and also give you more resistances for you to cap your resistances, or can even give you additional energy shield or anything that you actually need. As for the amulet here, actually the amulet I would suggest to you to start off, if you don't quite have the budget yet, I actually recommend that you start off with Astra Mantis. Now Astra Mantis is actually one of the cheaper options that you can get, and it really helps you a lot. Astra Mantis gives you all stats, so basically it can give you up to 100 plus additional 16, so additional 116 all attributes, which gives you a lot of strength, a lot of intelligence and dexterity, which is sweet, right? So on average you can get one for about 60 to 80 chaos. So if you go for the highest variant one, the 120 attributes one, we give you about 140 attributes. It's about 2.5 exalts, but it's not necessary, you know. You can just start off small, go with like something 60 to 80 chaos, and then work yourself from there, which is sweet. So Astra Mantis is what you want to start with, and then if you have a bit more currency to spare, you want to go for something like this. Yep, so this one gives me more strength, increased attributes, and 14% increased strength, and crafted energy shield on top of whatever I need, and just D&D over there. And the let's see, the rings. So the rings basically also gives me strength and intelligence. So you might be thinking, why do you need so much intelligence from your gear? Well, it's because of the jewels that we're about to use. So bronze jewels, which is I'm going to show you later, bronze jewels actually reduces your intelligence. It actually takes up your intelligence and gives you more strength. So, you know, bronze, right? Basically, it kind of makes you dumb, but it gives you more strength, right? Brute strength. Yeah, something like that. So basically, yeah, gives you strength and intelligence. I want to get as much strength and intelligence in my gear as I can. So intelligence actually gives me the capability to actually equip the gems that I need, because as you can see, I use quite a few intelligent gems in my build, right? So you need a good sum of intelligence, but I would say something around 160 intelligence would be a good number to start. So that's the reason why I get the strength and intelligence over here. Get resistances. Try to cap all your resistances as much as you can. Well, if you can get your rings crafted yourself, or you can get more energy shield on it, great for you. That's what actually the next thing I want to do is actually get better rings to replace these rings, because even though this one gives me tier 1 strength and tier 1 intelligence, I would like to have more energy shield or more resistances. Both the rings are pretty much the same, some resistance and mainly strength and intelligence. So these are the rings. So now let's go on to the flask. The flask, I would like to go more on dodge and armor. Mainly the flask that I use here is all mainly just to make my character more tougher and much more armor, so I won't die that easily, because you don't have to worry about dealing damage to the enemy. Your minions will do the job for you, okay? So you just want to make yourself more give yourself more survivability, and then, you know, let your minions do their job. So the first one I would like to use is the Quartz Flask of Dowsing. So this one gives me dodge attack hits and dodge spell hits, and also removes some burning and immunity to ignite as well. Then we go on with the Granite Flask. This one gives you additional 3000 armor on top of that, and give you some move speed, because I would like to have move speed. I just absolutely can't stand walking too slow, okay? So that's the reason why I use it. You can use something else if you want, it's up to you. Then the next one is also a Quicksilver Flask. This one gives me an immunity to freeze, removes freeze and chill, gives me more move speed, and last but not least, Rumi's Concoction. This is one of the quite important flasks that I think you should have. This one gives you block as well, block attack and block spell, and gives you 3000 armor. Bottle Faith is totally optional, right? This is just luxury. There is no need for you to use Bottle Faith whatsoever. The whole reason why I use Bottle Faith is just because I have a little bit of currency to spare, and I choose to spend a little bit more just to give myself a little bit more DPS. And also the Consecrated Ground gives me a little bit of a regeneration. That's about it. So in replace for this one, I can suggest that you can use actually Lion's Roar, just because of it gives you 3000 more armor, or you can use something else, or you can use something like this one. Let me see. You can actually use the other flask that gives you more. This one, Wise Oak. So Wise Oak actually gives you penetrate more resistances, and it gives you elemental resist. So this is also a replacement, but I would strongly suggest to go for Lion's Roar. So this is what you really want, okay? Now, as for the budget version of the gears, let's say you can't spare that much just to build a zombie, right? This build that I have right now, you can also choose other options. Some people, you can actually play dual wield, which can go for something like this. Montrigle's Grasp is actually a really good one-handed weapon. So basically, it gives you additional 5000 health of whatever health that your zombie has. It gives your zombies much more resistances, increase their size, and then most importantly, it gives you 20% of their maximum health as damage. So basically, the creeps around you that your zombies destroy, their health will explode, and you will actually affect all the minions or all the enemies around them, right? So which is quite sweet. And Raise Zombies actually deals more, 85%. Actually, it goes up to 100% extra additional physical damage. So it gives your zombies much more DPS. So this is a very, very good scepter that you would like to have, and it's not expensive. If I'm not mistaken, it should be around 5 to 10C. You know, it's something cheap. And then you want to have a shield to complement with the scepter. You can go for Matua Tapuna. So this one gives you additional 2 levels to all your socketed minion gems, gives you some energy shield, and it gives you increased effect of your auras to your minions, so your minions get stronger, a better effect of the auras that you're providing. And also you can use this champion kite shield. This one gives you 300% energy shield increase, some resistances, and it replenishes your energy shield when you block. You know, this is a really quite cheap, and I think it's about 5C. You can get this for 5C. Or you can just use any rare shield that gives you flat energy shield, flat resist, and you know, all that sweet stuff from a rare shield. So these are the 3 options. Or you want to go do two-handed, you can actually go for the Queen's Decree. Queen's Decree gives you minions has increased life, minions deals additional damage, and it gives you additional zombie and additional spectre. So this one is quite decent as well, but I would suggest to go for dual wield. But if you like two-handed, you can go for this one as well. This one goes for about 5 to 10C, something like that, unless you're going for a sickling. But I don't think you need the sixlings, because the only sixling that you need should be either the armor. That's the only one, that's sixling that you need. Everything else, not really. It's up to you. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Is the gems. So on the gems, this is the main gem links that you need, which is a sixling. Everything else is not, it's optional. You don't have to have sixling, but this one is what I have, sixling. So you would like to have raised zombie. So my raised zombie is level 30. 21 is for the gem, 1 is from the item, 2 levels is from the global modifier, and 6 levels is from the support gem, which is the empower. The empower support is level 4, additional 3 levels just because of the weapon, because this one gives me 1 level to socketed gems and 2 additional levels to support gem. So that's why it gives 6 levels to my zombie gem. So I get level 30 raised zombie, right? Awaken melee physical damage, or you can just use any average melee physical damage and work your way up. Multi-strike, which gives you your zombies to strike twice, like something like a double damage, which is really good. Repeat their damage, really, really sweet. There's no need to go for Awaken Multi-Strike. That one is cost you about 60 to 70 exalts. And Awaken minion damage or minion damage support, totally suitable. So, and then Feeding Frenzy, which lets your minion be aggressive. So when you walk around, your minions will actually search for enemies to kill, and they will be aggressive, which is what you want, right? So this is the gem of the sixling. I would say this is the most important one. Everything else, up to you. As for the Animate Guardian, so basically Animate Guardian is like a secondary character that you will have. This guy actually gives you, mainly he's there just to be giving your minions buff and also be your meat shield, which is taking up some of the damage for you. Ray Spectre, which is the ones I'm going to explain later, which are the specters that actually summon for you to give your minions, your zombies, additional damage from frenzy charges and power charges. How do you get frenzy charges and power charges? I'll explain it later as well. Minion life support, give both of your specters and your Animate Guardians more health, and also meat shield supports because they are there just to tank for you. Now, just to bear in mind, Animate Guardian and Ray Spectre, they are not your DPS. They don't really do damage. They are only there to buff your minions and basically tank a little bit for you. Okay. The next one I use, basically I'm using Cyclone and Desecrate. So basically when I Cyclone, there's Desecrate corpses and then Flesh Offering, which is one of the main gems here, just to give your minions increased move speed and attack speed. So when they consume corpses, and you will boost your zombies to give them more attack speed and more move speed. Vulnerability is, I would say, this will be very helpful as well. This one actually curse the enemies, make them more vulnerable to bleeding, and also maim them, and they will take additional 30% physical damage from your zombies, which is really sweet, right? And cast while channeling, this is just to link with your cyclone, so all these vulnerability and flesh offering and desecrate will cast while you're channeling. Okay, you can do a 5-link as well and take off infused channeling if you want. Basically your channeling will be a bit slower, but still fine. And then I basically just use portal. Discipline gives you a lot more energy shield and gives your energy shield recharge rate. So basically just from discipline is actually helping a lot. It gives me 3612 energy shield per second on regen just from this one itself, and there is a 15% additional energy recharge is from the ring. The fast start energy shield recharge, basically it starts charging your energy shield quite quickly. It's faster to charge it, so you regen a bit faster, right? And pride actually gives your enemies increased 41% physical damage taken as well, which gives you, additional DPS on your enemies. And moving to the boots, we have Flesh and Stone. Basically I'm using the Blood Stance. So Blood Stance basically gives you enemy more maim chance and take more increased physical damage. Carrion Golem also gives your minions more flat physical damage. And Flame Dash is my movement ability. And also Enduring Cry is when there's a lot of enemies, I just use it just to generate endurance charges. So endurance charges gives me more physical defense and some regeneration as well. So let's talk about Animate Guardian here. So Animate Guardian, basically there is a few things that you want to get for Animate Guardian. If you have not used Animate Guardian before, basically what you do is you get the equipment. Animate Guardian can actually wear your helmet, the weapon, armor, and gloves, and the boots, right? So these are the stuff that you want to get for him. So basically what you have to do is just grab the gears, go to any outside field, not your hideout, outside field, throw your items on the floor, and just click on whichever hotkey you have Animate Guardian on. Click and aim at the item, and then automatically the Guardian will wear whatever item that's on the floor, right? So what are the items that you really need for your Animate Guardian? Now Animate Guardian, actually you need this one. So the weapon is actually called the Kingmaker. So Kingmaker actually gives nearby allies have Culling Strike, and also nearby allies have Fortify. Now this too is really, really sweet if you have these two, which gives your minions Culling Strike, and when they have 10% health and below, it will instant kill them, and also Fortify, and also gives you additional allies have increased rarity, which is good when you're mapping, and also increased 50% critical strike multiplier, gives them more critical strike damage. Yes, it costs you a little bit of currency, it costs you about 1.5 exalts, but it's totally worth it. Okay, now if you don't want to use Kingmaker, there is another option that you can use. Dying Breath. So Dying Breath is actually quite good. It should cost less than 5C. This one gives your nearby allies gain increased 18% damage. Good, right? So basically your allies, all your minions will gain additional 18% increased damage, which is good. So you can use this. When you have a bit more, you can go for Kingmaker. As for the helmet, you would like to go for, just give me a moment here. Helmet is the Mask of Tribunal. Now this one, you would like to have a Mask of Tribunal for your Animate Guardian because it gives auras to your minions. Nearby allies have increased defense, nearby allies have increased multiplied critical strike, and nearby allies have increased cast speed. Basically it buffs up your minions as well. As for armor, I just use Belly of the Beast. So let's see, Belly. So Belly of the Beast gives me much more, gives my Animate Guardian much more health, some resist, more survivability. And as for the gloves, it can be anything. As for the gloves, you can just use anything that gives him more health, so that your enemy guardian won't die. So as my enemy guardian, I have about 68,000 health, which most of the time he just doesn't really get any damage at all, which is good. So Animate Guardian is those are the things that you want to have for your Animate Guardian. Moving on to your Spectres. Now, which Spectres do I use? I basically use the Host Chieftain. As you can see, the Host Chieftain actually empowers allies. So basically, it gives your allies power charge, right? And also, I have the other one, which is the Carnage. Carnage gives your minions Frenzy Charge. Now, Frenzy Charge basically increases damage and attack speed for your minions. Power Charge increase damage and critical strike for your minions. So these are the two, basically the buffs that you want to have for your minions. Now, where do you get these apes or these chieftains? Very simple. Go to Part 2, X7, Ashen Fields. This is where you want to go. So just go to Ashen Fields, right? So once you get to the Ashen Fields, you can just use your Cyclone and Desecrate. You don't have to look for them, and then you hold A, so you can actually find. If you can't find it yet, right? You just keep on spinning until you find the Host Chieftain or either Carnage. There's a Host Chieftain here. Then you click. Then you just raise your Spectre like this, and then you get a Host Chieftain. So usually if I have 3 Spectres, right, I'll go for 1 Host Chieftain and 2 Carnage Chieftain, because I want to make sure my DPS is my Frenzy Charge is always up. Okay, that's what I usually like to do. There's some minions here, so I'll just spawn a few zombies just to clear them off. So you want to look for 2 more Carnage Chieftains over here. There we go, there's 1 here. And then you get a 3rd one. I just need to find a 3rd one over here. Carnage. There we go. So there we go. 1 Host Chieftain and 2 Carnage Chieftain. So basically, it gives your allies power charge and frenzy charge, which is quite important, I think. So we pretty much covered the gears and the skill gems and the flask and the optionals that you can have. And now moving on to the skill tree. Before the skill tree, I would like to talk about the Ascendancy. So the Ascendancy, the first off, you want to start off with having Mindless Aggression. So this one gives your minions more damage and attack speed. The next one you want to go for is Unnatural Strength, which gives you additional 2 levels of all your minion gems. Then moving on to Bone Barrier. So Bone Barrier actually gives you Bone Armor skill, which is really good. Doesn't take any mana. Just cast it, and basically it takes up some amount of damage, about 2,209 damage after that. So you'll basically block 2,200 damage for you, which is really good. Right, on top of that, it gives you more resistances for your it gives you additional 3% elemental resist per minion, up to 30%. So basically you will definitely hit more than 30% every time, because you will have more than 10 minions. So basically 30% additional elemental resist, and also it gives you additional recovery rate for your life and energy shield per minion, up to 30% as well. And also all your minions have additional maximum life. Now for the 3rd part of the Ascendancy, usually I see a lot of people go for Mistress of Sacrifice. Now I personally, I don't really care about the offering skills or for the flesh offering. For myself, I just want to focus on my minions, and I don't really need the skill effect, the minion duration, because I'm not using skeletons. So I'll go for Commander of Darkness. So basically this one, the aura grant additional 3 increased attack speed, and also gives me and my allies increased damage, and also give me and my allies additional 20% elemental resist. Now as you can see here, just from Commander of Darkness, and Bone Barrier itself, you already get 50% additional elemental resist just from these two nodes. Okay, so that's the whole reason why I use this one. Now, usually I will start off and go up from the left and try to grab Arcanist Dominion and get some strength over here, and then I would like to go up to Enduring Bond. So this one gives me increased damage, yep, and also moving down, get more strength over here, some strength nodes. By the way, I'll just link my POB on the link down below so you guys can check it out if you need more information on this skill tree. And moving down, we would like to get Sacrifice. Sacrifice is really good. So basically your minions get additional life and you get more regeneration. And then you get Retribution as well, more damage and more increased speed, attack speed, and also additional strength and intelligence. Basically I just get Faith and Steel just because I get more resist and more energy shield just for myself, but for you, you can actually get more strength or whichever you want to get. So this one is totally optional, not it's not compulsory. Here I use Efficient Trainings. So Efficient Training actually transform all the intelligence to strength. So basically this two here will be 10 strength and 10 strength. So from this gem it gives me additional 20 strength instead of 20 intelligence, right? Moving down, you want to go down here and then you move up, you'll get Sanctity. So Sanctity gives you more energy shield and more strength and intelligence. Then you want to move down here and then you want to go up and have Grave Pact. Gives you additional damage, attack speed, and it gives your minions additional 5% chance to deal double damage, right? And then you want to move down. Personally, I think you just want to get all your jewels later on and just get the important nodes first. So you don't really have to get all the nodes for the gem sockets yet. You can do that later on, but for me, I'm just explaining here. So bronze jewels. So bronze usually gives you increased strength and dexterity, but reduced intelligence. So that's the reason why I need a lot of flat intelligence in my gear. So there's one bronze there and one bronze here. Moving down, I use Might of the Meek just because I have a lot of strength nodes over here. So basically it gives me 50% increased effect of the keystone, non-keystone. So instead of 10 strength, I get 15 strength. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 5, there's additional 30 strength just from this jewel itself, which is good. And moving down here, Utmost Might, of course, 40 strength, flat strength, and additional strength, 8% increase. And moving down here, another bronze, and move upwards, another bronze, and move upwards here. Sentinel gives you more resist, and some lightning resist, cold resist, and another bronze over here. On the other side, if you go up here, you would like to go for Arcanist Dominion, and then go up. You can get Deep Thoughts. This one gives you additional 20 strength and more mana. Efficient Training over here, so transform all the intelligence here into strength. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 strength over here, 60 strength over here, just from this itself. Very, very useful. Ravenous Horde gives more movement speed, increased damage, attack speed, and gain onslaught. Then move down here, more strength, another Efficient Training, and then you want to move down to get Chaos Inoculation. So this is the one I was talking about. It gives your life 1 health, 1 life, but you're immune to chaos damage, which is really sweet, especially for Metamorph League. Now this league, there's a lot of chaos damage if you notice. One is because one of the Conquerors is actually poison, and most of the Metamorph, they have a lot of chaos damage as well. So Chaos Inoculation will be very, very helpful. That's the reason why we built around Chaos Inoculation. And you want to move down here to grab Grave Intentions. Minions gain additional chaos resistance, gain extra 10% health as extra energy shield, and gain Unholy Might for 4 seconds after kill. Another Efficient Training over here, and yeah, that's pretty much done. And I'm actually level 93 for now. So these are the nodes that I'm getting right now. So this is what you need to get. Sorry about that. Yep. So we actually covered the skill tree, we covered the gems, we covered the gear, we covered the flask, and we covered the optional builds, the optional gears that we can actually have. As you can see from the beginning of the video, you saw some preview on killing some of the bosses that I killed, like the Elder, some of the Conquerors. You can take on all the Conquerors and all the Cyrus, Awakening level 8, no problem at all. As long as you dodge accordingly, you should be fine, right? And last but not least, the amulet, I usually use the oil anointment. So anoint Death Attunement here, just on the skill tree. So Death Attunement gives me additional attack speed and additional zombie and spectre. So this one actually takes up a clear oil, a crimson oil, and a silver oil, which comes up to about 30-40 C, plus minus, just about that. And yeah, we pretty much covered the whole build that we have here. If you guys have more questions about the build, feel free to just drop down in the comments below, or you can check out my Twitch stream. I stream every day. You can just stop by and say hi. Drop in some questions if you have. I'll be more than happy to give you whatever I can, help you guys whatever I can, answer all your questions as much as I can. And thank you so much for watching this video up to this point. I really appreciate for your time just to come by and stop by and looking at this video. I really hope that this has been helpful for you. So yeah, I hope you guys have the great week ahead. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay cool and enjoy the game, Exile. And see you guys.